What's the worst thing you've ever done? I won't tell you that, but I'll tell you the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Traveler, I am the Reverend Victor S. Johnson, and I've been places that you've only read about. And speaking of reading, I'm not sure if you know this one, so come along with me on a journey. We're going to Philadelphia, to the Naval Yard, but more specifically, the section of it that was abandoned. Our story jumps around a bit, but for all intents and purposes, we're going back to 1955. There was a brilliant ufologist named Morris Jessup. He put out a book on UFO theory, and he received a mysterious response from someone named Carlos M. Allende. Allende sent Jessup a copy of his own book. However, the book had been marked up in the margins between two different narrators who were discussing things such as Einstein's unified field theory and the possibility of unidentified flying objects of flying saucers having specialized propulsion that we would not yet figure out. Jessup was ecstatic and began to keep correspondence with Allende. Allende told him a story about an account of a thing that happened at the Philadelphia Naval Yard in October of 1943. There was a new name now, not Carlos M. Allende, but Carl M. Allen. For some reason, this set off no alarm bells with Morris K. Jessup. But Allen began to recount something that happened to him while he was a merchant marine stationed aboard the SS Andrew Furuseth. There was a ship, a destroyer escort, the USS Eldridge. While aboard the Furuseth, Allen was stationed down in Norfolk, Virginia. While on the boat doing his duties, he came upon a sight looking out over the deck. All at once, before Allen and his fellow shipmates, a second ship appeared out of a green cloud of smoke. Allen and the others looked on for moments as the captain of the Furuseth tried desperately to hail the Eldridge. It was so close. Shipmen on the Furuseth tried their best to see what was going on. This is a sight that Allen would later recount to Jessup. In the confusion, within several moments, the Eldridge disappeared again, but Allen knew he had seen something special. He found out all he could about the USS Eldridge, and he began his trek from Norfolk, Virginia, to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to the Naval Yard. What Allen would discover would be mind-blowing. With help from a scientist from Havre de Grace, Maryland, Albert Einstein himself was working on what Allen referred to as dark science. The two had created a device and outfitted it on the Eldridge to render the ship invisible to the naked eye so that it couldn't be sank by German U-boats. When put into test, this is when the Philadelphia experiment began, and the device worked. It rendered the Eldridge invisible. Unfortunately, it also sent the ship on a wild journey through space and time. Allen sent this in correspondence to Jessup, who became obsessed with the Philadelphia experiment and as such begged Allen for more material. And soon, Allen sent a piece of a Philadelphia Inquirer article to Morris K. Jessup. Never mind that the article was oddly handwritten. That didn't matter. There it was, corroborating evidence. And what did the article explain? The lucky midshipmen had gone mad. They came back and told doctors they were experiencing nausea, vomiting, hallucinations, and that was before they all seemed to storm off the ship and run through South Philadelphia, screaming. These poor souls were later admitted to Penhurst Mental Health Hospital up in Sinking Spring, Pennsylvania. When Penhurst inevitably closed in 1987, no records of these soldiers were ever found. It should be noted that right next to Penhurst is a military base. The not-so-lucky ones, they remain a part of the ship for all eternity as they were fused to the bulkheads, half of their bodies sticking out of the ship, the other half stuck in the ship for all eternity. And then Allen stopped sending Jessup correspondence. Morris Jessup was then contacted by the U.S. Office of Naval Affairs because Allen had sent them an annotated book as well. Officers at the base studied it and tried to make sense of it. Jessup, for all intents and purposes, told them, "Your guess is as good as mine." Things began to spiral out of control for Jessup. He never had another hit book, and his publisher dropped him. His wife left him, And in 1959, in his own car, Morris Jessup got out of life and now dances with the angels. The secrets of what Einstein told Carl M. Allen died with Allen. He never gave an interview regarding the Philadelphia experiment for the rest of his life. So that's it. That's the story. The thing is, I do have a say in this, traveler. What's my motto? I've been to places you've only read about. And just like Dudleytown and just like Eisenhower Bridge, I've been to the abandoned part of the Philadelphia Naval Yard where all these folks stayed and lived. Did I get any evidence of the Philadelphia experiment? Well, maybe that's another story for another day. I am the Reverend Victor S. Johnson, and I've been places you've only read about. Safe travels, traveler. Oh, and happy April 1st. Remember to like and subscribe.